There's something unusually exciting about moving to a new home. And for most people, that doesn't happen very often. Packing up and going to a new place, whether it be on the other end of a street, across town, across the country, or a whole other place entirely. It is one of the most stressful and momentous occasions of your life. A fresh start in a new place.
Tara, we already did a video on moving, remember? Is this like part 2 of it or something?
No, this is something else entirely. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, moving. This is a time you can reinvent yourself. New home, new people, new you. What could go wrong? Well, on the flip side of the excitement of you moving, your neighbors are watching you. Oh, look, they're moving a piano. I hope they're actually good at it. Especially if we have to hear it all the time. Or, that's the 4th refrigerator they've moved in. How many pizza bagels do they need?
Hey, I love pizza bagels! When it's pizza on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Thanks, 90s commercial callback.
Just doing my part to make you feel old and ostracize a younger generation that has no idea what I'm talking about.
Hey, lore lovers, it is October and my favorite month of the whole year.
Yeah, because our birthday is this month.
Not just because it's our birthday, but because of everything October entails. The nights creep in more and more, and the air gets colder.
Yeah, forcing bugs back into the depths where they belong.
Plus that. But what I really love is everything suddenly turning spooky. Horror movies, TV specials, and everything in between celebrates what goes bump in the night. And all this culminating into my favorite holiday of Halloween. Though in other cultures it is considered the Day of the Dead, and in some religions it's considered All Hallows Eve, the precursor to Hallowmas and All Saints' Day. And so to celebrate the spookiness of October, I thought I would start off by telling you all about the Leyak.
The what? The kayak?
No, the Leyak. This is a figure from Bali mythology. It's a compound word that comes from the words lay, which means witch, and ak, which means bad. And it has been pronounced both as a layak or a leek. And as the name implies, they are a bad witch.
Alright, well, why are you talking about moving then?
I'm glad you asked. In several stories of the Leyak, it's said that they're a beautiful woman moving into a new neighborhood. By day, they are kind and radiate beauty, but at night, her lower half of her body breaks off. And I'm not just meaning metaphorically, I mean literally ripped in half. The upper half of this woman's body is able to fly around. And yes, this whole time she is dripping blood and guts from her open bottom half. While flying, the witch searches graveyards for fresh entrails. And if she can't find them, she will hunt in her neighborhood.
Wow, so much for being good neighbors. And they just detach their lower half? Talk about taking a load off. But that just sounds nasty and messy, dripping everywhere.
Now, she doesn't just eat the entrails of whatever she finds. The Leyak can actually make potions with these, and these potions have powers. They allow her to turn into different things, like a monkey with golden teeth, a balding giant, a large rat, or even a riderless motorcycle of all things. In other versions of Balinese mythology, the Leyak isn't a witch, but a demon. These versions, they serve under the queen of the Leyaks, and her name is Rangda. In these versions of the myth, they can shapeshift without potions, usually into animals like pigs, though they need to feed on the dead to access these powers. Also, in other versions, they aren't demons, but cannibalistic witches who practice black magic. But That goes back to the original myth of them just being bad witches, just cannibalistic ones too. No matter the version of Leyak you believe, at night they always have long fangs and long, thin tongues. But only while in their monster form, where it's just their upper half. It's said that if someone kills a Leyak, their tongues are often hung on the wall as decoration. Although this hasn't really been proven, other stories say that it's actually the bust of a Leyak that shows the whole gruesome mouth with fangs and tongue sticking out.
I've heard of hunters keeping trophies or hanging heads on walls, but that's new. Turns out our old neighbor was a demon witch, and we killed her. This is her tongue.
In other regions of Bali, the people actually contribute illness and disease to the Leyak. If someone recently dies from a sickness, the people of Bali will actually conduct a seance to find out if it was caused by a Leyak. If it is, the spirit will indicate that it was and point to who the Leyak is. This is where this bad witch or vampire, it's considered in some regions, differs from the Western culture, like with Romania and what we believe a vampire to be. If it's discovered who the Leyak is, it is not recommended to go after them or kill them or harm them in any way. Healers and spiritualists alike will insist that the spirits the Leyak ruins will actually help destroy the Leyak in the long run. But with their cover blown, the Leyak now must move. And this is the callback to when I was talking about moving. The Leyak will move to a new community where nobody knows of her and begin her silent night stalking once more. Another interesting fact about the Leyak is that they can only survive within the boundaries of Bali itself. Anywhere outside of its borders, the Leyak will lose its powers and eventually die.
Oh, what you're telling me is if you want to avoid being a weird bad witch's dinner, don't move to Bali. I can do that.
Well, that's not entirely true.
But you just said they can't exist anywhere else.
Thousands of miles away from Bali is Sri Lanka. Here they have legendary demons called yaks or yakshas. And in these versions of mythologies, it's said that the yakshas spread their evil across all of Asia. In the Sinhala language, which is one of the languages you can find in Sri Lanka, the word li or lay means blood. And often the yaks are called Leyaks, which means blood demon or blood-sucking demon.
So, is there a way to stop Leyaks, or do we just have to let the spirits attack them?
Yes, beheading Leyaks usually works. However, while in the monstrous form, where the lower half is just laying on the floor, bleeding out, and the upper half is dripping across town as it's flying to a cemetery, if you stab it in its neck, the Leyak will die. Or, if you keep the Leyak from reattaching to its lower half by morning, it will also die.
Really? Stabbing them in the neck killed them, while their lower half is dripping everything. It's the stab in the neck that gets them.
I don't make the rules. Well, lore lovers, what do you think? Have you heard of the Leyak before? Do you believe in them? What would you do if you saw the upper half of a woman flying around in the middle of the night?
Oh, I would definitely scream. Can you imagine seeing that? That has to be one of the weirdest things you could ever see flying around.
Let me know in the comments down below. Until next time, lore lovers, may you be safe from the things that go bump in the night.